Welcome folks to a new video for Mortal Kombat 11 as we wait for new content to come our way with the new skin packs coming with the Aftermath expansion. I wanted to make a video focused on what we have in the game right now, which is listing off 10 small details that you probably didn't notice were in the game. Now, you can consider some of these Easter eggs or not, call it whatever you want. The point is, there are aspects about the game that probably went right under your nose. Before we get started, make sure you leave a thumbs up on this video as it lets me know you are enjoying the content on this channel. And I will now be live streaming on this very YouTube channel every Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, where I sit down and talk with all of you viewers about all things Mortal Kombat. So if there's something you want me to talk about, come join my live stream on Monday at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're gonna have a good time. We're just gonna be chilling. I'm really grateful for all the support you have been giving me recently. It's been amazing, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss my streams and future videos. Okay, so the first small detail that may have slipped under your nose takes place in the Wuxi Dragon Grotto stage, one of the best stages in the game. You may know that there's a sword interactable in the middle of the stage. Well, what you may not know is the fact that the sword is actually Liu Kang's Dragon Sword from MK4. MK4 was the first game that gave the characters weapons, and that carried over throughout the 3D era, and Liu Kang's weapon was a sword. Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous at the thought of Liu Kang with the sword, which is why it never came back in other games. But I still like the nice Easter egg referencing Liu Kang's sword, as any acknowledgement of the previous games is always welcome. Sidebar, you can actually use the sword in a match by holding down first and using the interact button. We are 50% into 2020 and this game came out last year, and still, I have never seen anyone use the sword interactable in this way. Now, this next one is character specific with Spawn. So, Spawn's back 4 is a nice sweep move that of course everyone has, but the animation has some sort of hellish figure that comes from underground. And what this figure is in the form of, if you really pay attention, is a reflection of the character Spawn is playing against. It's not just a random model. Also, it isn't based on their default appearance when doing his back 4. If the character is wearing a hat, then the model has a hat on. If it's in a different hairstyle, then it's in a different hairstyle. I really like the extra effort right there. The third small detail is sort of a 2-in-1, since the next one I'm going to talk about has to do with the same stage in a way. But anyways, Kotal's Coliseum during the match has a visual reference of time travel. As you may remember in the story, this is the place where the time merger first happened. The merge between a point in time where Shao Kahn was still the ruler of Outworld. So the stage in the game shows you a part of the stage that resembles what Shao Kahn's Coliseum looked like, and there's two things to point out here. One is that the color grading here is a little bit purple, definitely darker. You might remember that Outworld used to be really purple, that used to be its main color, and now it sort of looks like Egypt and the Middle East, which I don't like at all. Purple Outworld will always be better, and I don't care what anyone says. Anyways, the second thing is that Shao Kahn's flags are part of this visual as well, where Kotal's flags are the default and Shao Kahn's flags are seen for the time travel reference, which very much resembles swastika flags. I think that's pretty obvious. Shao Kahn was not a good person. He was an oppressor. The second point I mentioned also has to do with the Coliseum stage, but it also involves the Coliseum Beast Pen stage. So, as you can see in Kotal's Coliseum, there are monsters that are emerging from the middle of the stage as a cool, nice background activity. In the Coliseum Beast Pen, we see that this is the place where the monsters emerge from, and if you notice that the Beast Pen monsters that are seen in that stage are the same ones that you see in the Coliseum stage, and when you put these two stages together and their events side by side, it's actually a perfect correlation. I always thought they were just random monsters and didn't have any correlation with the ones that we saw on the Coliseum stage, but hey, I was wrong. Moving on, talking about another stage is the Soul Chamber. The Soul Chamber is a classic stage that we first saw in UMK3, and we've seen it return in other games multiple times through MK Armageddon and MK9, and generally, it's been looking the same since UMK3, and to be honest, it's one of the more boring looking classic stages, and I don't think that's a hot take because nobody in the MK community says, oh my god, I really want the Soul Chamber back. So when they were bringing it back for MK11, I was like, you could have chose a different classic stage, but now that it's here, I've got to say, it's actually one of the best stages in the game. It's probably the best version of the stage in all of Mortal Kombat, and I gotta give them applause to that. So, one of the reasons why I like this stage, and I mentioned this before in previous videos, is that the background is actually reminiscent of the church stage from UMK3 with the stained glass windows. I thought that was really clever, and an interesting take for the Soul Chamber is to combine it with the church. So we have two classic stages in one. The church is in the background, and the main stage is the Soul Chamber. To me, that's really awesome. So in Aftermath story, when Shang Tsung, Fujin, and Nightwolf arrive at the Netherrealm to capture Sindel, they are met by Revenant Liu Kang, Kitana, and Nightwolf, where Liu Kang uses a talisman to capture them. Now, you may not really think what specifically did he use to capture them, because yeah, ultimately it's not important, but since this is a video talking about small details, what you may have missed is that Liu Kang is actually using a talisman that is found in the crypt of Mortal Kombat 11, and this can be found where all the artifacts are, and this is called the Talisman of Kafala Warlocks. Now, in the crypt, it's a little bit bigger than how it is in the story, which is understandable probably because you want to see clearly what it is you're looking at, and this talisman actually has a story to it, which reads, "The Kafala Warlocks were the most powerful sorcerers of Outworld's antiquity. They secretly influence Outworld's Khans, shaping their reigns to suit their agenda, the Netherrealm's conquest of the realm. When the truth was discovered, the traitorous were wiped out." Staying on the crypt, there is a specific area in the crypt that was actually a stage in Mortal Kombat Deception, and that was the Dark Prison, which did take place on Shang Tsung's island in Mortal Kombat Deception. And although it does not look the same in MK11, you can still find it in this game when you travel to the jails. And once again, the jails is the Dark Prison stage from MK Deception. So it's nice to revisit that stage and be able to experience it in a different way, where I get to walk all around the stage in third person. Let's talk about Combat League here. Oh god, that mode. Well, the good thing here is that I'll be talking about something good that comes out of Combat League. So, remember Season 5 that gave us the Quan Chi skins for Baraka, Cabal, Kano, and Cetrion? Well, a nice little thing to note here is that aside from Cetrion, all of the Quan Chi skins for the characters were all characters that Rich DeVizio played in the arcade games of Mortal Kombat. So Rich DeVizio, I feel everyone knows as Quan Chi from the MK4 arcade cabinet, and he also played him in Mortal Kombat Mythologies, and has become some sort of a meme in the community since it's just a funny looking face. But remember, he was with Mortal Kombat since the beginning, since MK1. He was the person who played Kano in MK1, he also played Baraka in MK2, and then he also played Cabal in UMK3, and Kano again in that game. So I don't know if that was intentional on NetherRealm's part, but I'll still mention it here just in case it wasn't a coincidence. We all know that Robocop has these cool alternate costumes that are themed around the Mortal Kombat Cyber Ninjas and their classic look. Now, a lot of people seem to have taken this as a way of NetherRealm trying to give us the cyborgs, while also implying that they won't be in the game. I never bought that. I always thought it was just a cute little what-if theme skin for a guest character, and I love theme skins in general. And while yes, that is partially correct, since I do think Sector and Cyrax are still going to be in the game, what I actually think this is actually a reference to the fact that before Sector and Cyrax were called Ketchup and Mustard in the early development stages of UMK3, they were actually called Robocop, and now that Robocop is in Mortal Kombat, he now has Sector and Cyrax skins, so I'm pretty sure Ed Boon or somebody who worked on UMK3 that's still at NetherRealm said, "Hey, remember when we called Sector and Cyrax Robocop as code names? We have Robocop now, let's make Sector and Cyrax skins for them and let's see if people get what we are doing." And if that's the case, which I'm pretty sure it is, it makes me like these costumes even more. I already liked them before, I knew about this, and now that I know this, again, I like them even more. The last small detail that you may have missed is in Frost's new human-like costume with her frozen core. The symbol on that core you would assume is the Lin Kuei symbol, right? Wrong. This is actually the Lin Kuei symbol that is upside down. The triangle is facing the other way. Now, you would think that, oh, this is just another one of those gear pieces that just changes line patterns or something like that. But what I actually think this means is some sort of anti-Lin Kuei symbol, and if you know anything about Frost and MK11, she hates the Lin Kuei and Sub-Zero. And I sort of saw this as if like you're a Satanist and your symbol is like an upside down cross, and for Frost, she has an upside down Lin Kuei logo as a nice little way to show that she's anti-Lin Kuei. So there you guys have it. Did you guys notice any of these details in the game? And if there's a detail that I may have missed or didn't include in this video, let me know what those were in the comments. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, make sure you drop a big thumbs up and also subscribe for more Mortal Kombat content. Anyways, I will see you all in the next video.